Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about VeChain's price chart because what we talked about in the previous update, I'm going to argue to the T played out, and in this video, we are going to answer a very important question. Can we argue the bottom is in or not? Or let's just say this, do we have enough evidence suggesting maybe the low is in, and right in here can be a buy opportunity or not? So are we ready? Let's dive in and see what is going on. And first things first, I think it's best to talk about what we said in the previous update, because in the last video, I believe we were somewhere around these areas, and the idea was that, well, okay, even if we end up having one more move on the upside, let's not really get fooled by it, because odds are this whole move from the lows to about these areas is just going to be a correction structure into this wave 4, meaning what? After it's over, we can actually expect yet another move down into our wave 5 in order to take this important low. And hey, what happened? We did get our move down, and the end of our wave 4, I'm going to say it was right in here, and from this point to about here, maybe this was something like an ABC expanded flat into our B leg, followed by yet another move up into C, completing the subphase for this zigzag structure. And from here to about the lows, no problem at all. We are absolutely able to find a 5-wave. So as you can see, if you want to argue the bottom is in, you do sort of kind of have an argument. Why am I saying sort of kind of? Because if you are on H4 time frame, and if you remember what we said in the previous video, we were like, well, okay, sure, maybe the next move is going to be our last one on the downside. However, on a higher degree, there's also a chance that this is a wave 1, correction for 2, and this is a 5-wave, do not get me wrong, but on a higher degree, again, it's going to be into this wave 3, meaning what? Any kind of move down after this drop in VeChain can be just a correction structure for 4, followed by another move down into wave 5. So the question is, which scenario can be in play? Well, based on our strategy, I'm going to argue it's not really that important. But before I tell you about the strategy, let's just talk about the structures in here overall, because I think there are some signs in here suggesting, number one, either the bottom is not in yet, and in that case, we are extremely close to reach to our final low, or maybe, hey, good news, the final low is already in. And even in that case, we are going to have a bit of a pullback down. Maybe we're going to do something like this. Now, why am I saying that the downsides overall are actually very limited? Because if you check out Bitcoin's price chart, the king itself, you realize that in the last, let's say 72 hours, we basically got, I think it was something like a 23% move on the downside, which is not for BTC. In an altcoin, no problem at all. We have seen much stronger moves. We are kind of used to those types of volatility. However, when it comes to BTC, the recent move down, I'm gonna say it wasn't really normal. So in a lot of cases, I'm gonna say in 95+% of the times, whenever you are seeing a very strong move down followed by that, even if you want to say the bottom is not in yet, you should just expect something like this, maybe a consolidation followed by another move down, but in it we are not really going to go a whole lot lower than the previous major pivot low, and essentially this thing is going to be some sort of a time-based capitulation, meaning what? Hey, downsides are very limited indeed. And since in BTC downsides are limited, I'm going to argue in a lot of altcoins, including this thing right in here, VeChain, downsides are also limited as well. Now, having said all this, let's go on 30-minute time frame, maybe even 15-minute time frame, and see what is going on, because I think we're gonna have another move up soon for two important reasons. Number one, let's actually just zoom in a little bit more and draw this line. Okay, question, how many times are we touching this line? Let's have a quick count. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and it seems like right now we do sort of kind of want to get a break of it. So I'm going to argue, yep, this is going to cause yet another move up, and also Elliott wave wise, in my view, maybe these are the subwaves for an ABC zigzag, a correction structure and not an impulse. Why is that important? You see, if you want to argue that we're going to have our final low around this region, maybe this is some sort of a decent support, fair enough. Off of the lowest low, then find me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up in order for me to flip bullish. This thing right in here is called an impulse. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between our wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of wave, our wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And for our subwaves, you know what I'm about to say if you are a regular viewer of the channel. And by the way, for those of you who are regular viewers here, if you like my content, please give my main channel also a sub as well. There we go. We're gonna have 5 up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for our corrections, we can have so many different structures. Let's say in this instance, ABC42 followed by a WXY into wave 4. And in my opinion, in VECHAIN, we are actually on our way to complete the subways for a 5 wave. Here is how I can explain it. I'm thinking about having from here to about this point 5 wave up into a wave 1, probably then from here to about here a correction down into wave 2, maybe some sort of a running flat, and then good strong impulse, a 1 2 3 4 5 into wave 3. And again, once more, conclusion is the same. I'm thinking about having a correction structure in here into wave 4 and then another move up into wave 5. And pay attention, please. The strategy in VECHAIN, in my view, is called tactical positions. And if you want to be a bit more specific, maybe preferably tactical long positions. And hey, guess what? Just because I'm saying maybe we're gonna have another move up doesn't really mean this is actually a buy opportunity. In fact, let me just say this, I do not believe this is a buy opportunity, or at least for me, I'm not really going to open any long positions in here. What? Question for you, what's gonna happen after a 5 wave up, even if you want to go according to the most bullish case? I think you know the answer. We are going to have one way or the other a bit of a move on the downside, and if this is going to have certain characteristics, chief among them, you know it, is being a slow and choppy, and timing wise, this whole phase down is going to take some more time relative to this move on the upside. Hey, fair enough. This is essentially going to be at that point 5 wave up followed by a correction down, and right around the lows can be a beautiful buy opportunity for you. And by the way, here is one more important reason for why I think soon after having one more move up, we are going to get a relatively deep move on the downside. Just look at this beautiful bounce back, which on H4 time frame actually led to a beautiful hammer. And as you can see, the shadow is way too large. And in these types of situations, I'm going to argue around the shadows, we do actually have some decent gaps, which in my opinion, they are going to get filled 95+% of the time. So if we are going to have a pullback, odds are we are going to get to about these levels, about, let's say, 0.7, 0.72 of a cent. And then again, assuming in here we are having the right structures, beautiful long opportunity for us, in hope that we end up having yet another move on the upside. Now, why did I say the name of the game in here is tactical positions? Because although you might think that, okay, if we end up having a correction and then get another move up, great sign, probably at that point the bottom is set. Well, not really. You see, for all I know, this can be just a correction structure on the upside. And I'm, by the way, doing this in the name of being absolutely pessimistic, because again, I don't really want you to get your hopes up that much. So let's just say this, even if we are going to have another move up, at that point, maybe we're just going to have an ABC zigzag, which the subways for it are going to be like this. 1 2 3 4 5 wave up into our A leg, correction for wave B. Let's call it an ABC, followed by yet another move on the upside in form of a 5 wave. There we go, something like this. So again, this in my view probably is going to be a 5 wave. Then after it, we're going to have a move down, and bullish or bearish, whether we are going to have an ABC or maybe some really good promising structure suggesting the bottom ascent. Okay, let's just open a long position in here and catch the next move up, and then when we get to about these areas, we are going to talk about what might be the next likely move based on what is going to happen in this specific region. Why? Because you see, if we end up having a move up followed by maybe like an immediate rejection from these areas in form of a 5 wave, generally a very strong move down without a lot of overlapping of the waves, be careful, this might be an ABC zigzag, meaning what? Our move down in VECHAIN is going to unfortunately continue. On the other hand, if we end up having number one, a rather sharp move on the upside, and the price is going to be at that point quite a bit higher than this important initial high, about let's say 0.8 of a cent, followed by that point number two. If we end up having a consolidation in here, okay, great sign, odds are at that point on a higher degree. You are having a 1 2 3 for 5-8 up, meaning what? Yep, hopefully in VeChain the bottom is set. For now, again, it's very important to understand we shouldn't really be bothered overall with these whole structures. Let's just for now focus on the coming pullback down. And again, if stars were aligned, we are going to open a long position here and only catch the next face up. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in VeChain. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.